this thing on.
Are y'all ready for this?
Good day. It's Darren from Resurrection Auto Detailing, Tint and Protection here with our last Coffee Time with Resurrection for now. We do still have a couple team members that didn't want to do this right now, so we're actually going to be taking a transition from Coffee Time with Resurrection into Darvel's Domain podcast. So that's super exciting. I'm going to be able to bring in some people. We're going to talk about different things in business that a lot of people often forget about when they first start. We're going to talk about family and pretty much everything that kind of revolves around in my life that I can bring people in and help showcase those kind of avenues. So hopefully we can help people in their future endeavors and that kind of stuff, which I think will be super exciting. I think you're kind of excited for that too.
Yeah.
So as always, I have a special guest. This is actually a really special guest because this is my wife, Cheryl, who has been here since day one. So as always, I have a series of questions to ask her. And then as people maybe get onto their new business, or maybe you guys are wondering how we got started and the different things that we've been through during starts or during our startup, I guess. You guys can kind of see how we got through that. And who knows, maybe you guys will get to watch a fight live. Just kidding. So as always, we got our Forbidden Flavors coffee, which is always here in the showroom, freshly perked. So if you guys are ever in the area and you just want to pop by for a visit, say hi, whatever the case, coffee's always on. So be sure to come visit us. So yeah, like I said, my wife, Cheryl. So what do you do for work, Cheryl?
I do hair.
Yeah, where do you do hair?
Hairstylist here in Brandon at Soul.
Right. And you've been doing that for how long?
Well, I've been at Soul for 3 years now. Prior to Soul, I was also hairstyling for 7, 8 years. Oh,
yeah.
Damn.
Aging yourself?
I am very much so.
So we're going to get into the different series of questions now that everybody kind of knows you. And some of these, if you don't want to answer them, just say so. But I think you're pretty good. We're pretty funny people, so we'll get through it. So obviously, when I started this, I was working at another job, like we talked about in Christina's episode. I went to the doctor, found out I was having a lot of medical issues and that kind of stuff, that just from different stresses I was dealing with, and that kind of stuff. So the doctor put me off on a 2-week medical leave, and then all of a sudden I kind of just left and decided to do my own thing. So how did you feel when I called and said I quit my job and I was going to start up my own business?
I mean, I'm your ride or die.
Yeah,
so
fair, yeah.
I'm always supporting you in these outrageous ideas that you have. I don't think that there's really anything that I've said, no, don't do it to. But I mean, it was crazy. But
Yeah, I mean, that was
wasn't.
kind of a hard one too, because we didn't really have we were living in 2 different places.
Yeah.
Because we weren't living together at the time.
Yeah.
And we were neither one of us really had any money. So to float if we needed to. So it was basically we had to either make it work or it wasn't going to happen at all. Right?
Yeah.
So
totally.
But I think we kind of got through that and that kind of stuff. So what was the biggest challenge for you when I started?
Probably have to say the time that you spent. Obviously you had to put it in, you had to give to get, but the time that we didn't have together probably would have been the hardest part. The late nights, that really sucked.
Yeah.
Because who else was gonna fucking tickle my back?
That's fair. And like I said in a couple episodes before, but there was times where I'd go to work on a Thursday and you wouldn't really get to see me unless you came to physically see me at the shop until Tuesday, because I would just work the whole time, right? And catch cat naps on this couch.
Yeah.
Sitting in the showroom. That's why we still
also
have it.
Slept on this couch.
Yeah, right. So yeah, definitely we had some long days and hard nights and that kind of stuff. So That was pretty tough. So what was the moment that you said, okay, this is worth it?
When you started being able to actually like step back a little bit and allow yourself to enjoy things outside of the business, because obviously you were very like business on the mind for quite some time when it first started, which is obviously a given. But when we were able to like actually go to Moose Jaw for the day, like just
do something, right?
yeah, just like random road trips and stuff like that. Like the benefit of actually getting that quality time,
Right.
I would say.
And I think it's something everybody kind of strives for, you know, when they start a business, is a little bit more freedom, like time wise and financial wise. But there's always that really hard strain at the beginning where you have to put in so much time in order to really make it worth it, right? So
yeah,
I would agree. Seeing me work so much, was there a point where you kind of thought to yourself or said like, okay, this is too much, like this guy is gonna kill himself, like this is craziness?
not really. Like you've always got a million things on the go, so that's just who you are as a person. So
Yeah, and especially like, I mean, combined we have 4 kids,
yeah,
so
shit gets crazy.
we're always busy,
Yeah,
always doing something.
like
So
I don't really know what it's like to not have a million things on the go.
right. Even just to plan this, I had to save you for last, just so I was like, okay, we have to make this work, right? So yeah, for sure. Looking back all the way to day 1 of Resurrection, what was your proudest moment?
Just the growth, like seeing what's actually been made of
Literally
what was
nothing.
yeah, like because that shit's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a lot, like
yeah,
a lot, and like it seems like every couple months when we're kind of sitting there, we're like, man, like this is great, but like maybe I should have kept working for somebody. But I mean, I was not making even enough to survive, which was part of the stresses that I was dealing with.
yeah,
So you get into like that, and then like you're kind of thinking like, man, maybe I should have looked for something else. But then something happens, like winning the International Paint Assassin Award, like that makes it feel like it's worth it. I mean, it's not that the awards pay, but they definitely make you feel good about what you've done.
oh absolutely.
And then different things, like we got to do SEMA in 2019, and we went to Florida for some training in 2019, and then of course the pandemic hit. So
yeah,
then we got to do Vegas this year for SEMA, where we won another award, right? So all those little things just kind of add up, make it feel like it's all worth it, right?
yeah.
So
Accomplishments.
exactly. So working together when Resurrection first started, what was your braking vehicle?
I would have to say the one that a volunteer was driving people from the
The wine show.
Yeah, the upchuck of wine, and it was so hot out.
Yeah, it was the summer.
Yeah, it was like a heat stretch. Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, and there was like wine that came out of somebody's body the wrong way. And it was like in the vents, in all the plastics, it was so bad it was in the glove box, it was in the doors, it was on the carpet. But like we got it.
Yeah.
But it was like hours of work, respirators.
And I wanted to light it on fire.
Yeah, for sure. I thought you were gonna say that day that I booked in 6 Dodge Caravans and you walked out on me. You were like, nope, not doing this, I'm out of here, I'm going to work.
That was after the crayons in the back. I was like, no.
That was Christina's breaking point vehicle. It was so bad. That one vehicle made 2 detailers completely break.
Yeah.
So what is one of the biggest challenges for you with the business like today? Probably still time, because it's all I think about.
Probably having to listen to you complain when you come home. Just kidding. No, honestly, I don't feel like there is any like
huge challenges.
Yeah,
We get through
like
it. We'll get through what we get through, right?
Yeah, exactly. We make it through everything.
Yeah, for sure. What's one memory that you often find yourself reflecting on from the business?
When we first started and we detailed that Mustang together up at...
That was like Jeff Caswell's first, like his shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris. Yeah, we did that Mustang and that thing was like wrecked.
Yeah, it was. But it was like so rewarding.
The owner like sold it.
Yeah.
Like, made money off of it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Especially now seeing like all the jobs that we did like that. And now there's actually a show on History Channel called Dirty Old Cars. And like they're literally doing what we've been doing since 2018, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that was a pretty exciting one. I think one of my memories for you working with like together with me was like the day we finally were able to buy the second vacuum, and it was a bigger vacuum. I had that picture of you where you're just so excited because we actually had a secondary vacuum.
It was like Christmas.
Yeah, going from this little dinky shop vac to like a bigger, like double the power shop vac, and yeah, it wasn't even that expensive. But I mean, it was like hard to save for that with everything else that we had to do.
Right,
which was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
and it was a second vacuum, which just felt like it was going to increase our service time by like 100%.
It actually did.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you were able to jump on one side, I could jump on the other. And that first shop was so tight that like trying to get around vehicles with equipment was really hard. So there's often times where we were like crawling through the vehicle to get to the other side, or like passing equipment over to each other or whatever. So those little things, all those little things seem to add up pretty quick.
Yeah, she was tight in there.
Yeah. What's one hope you have for the future of Resurrection?
On the business side of things, I hope that you guys continue to grow and succeed. But I also, on the personal side of things, I just hope that you guys remain like such a good atmosphere and continue to have the relationships that you do with your customers. And
yeah, and I think that's something that every single one of these has touched on, is like the approach we take towards our customers, like to our, like towards our clients, where our customers first become clients, clients become friends, friends become family, and then like so on and so forth, right? Like we don't really focus on building up our trust off our services. We build up our trust off of like the way we engage with people, and then our team, like how our team, that's like one of our core values, right? And like our team values that so much that like they can talk to any customer and like we're gonna be like, hey, get back to work, you know? Like I think that's a big thing for sure. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think for me, like one of my biggest hopes for the future is that eventually over time we can kind of pass this along to like Aaliyah, and then Sawyer, and then Jackson, and then Jasper,
build that family legacy,
and then, you know, like one day like Violet will still have it, right? And I mean, Violet's only almost two, so like I mean that's a long ways away. But like,
she's gonna be a mean boss.
She's a mean boss now. But I hope that like we can make it sustainable long enough that like one day our kids are doing it. But like it's like tell everybody, you know, with self-checkouts and with robots cleaning floors at Walmart, or robots serving food at Boston Pizza and stuff. Like this is the one thing as of right now a robot can never do, because a robot can't physically see what we're seeing and physically do what we're doing.
Totally.
So I think that's a huge thing. It's one of the things that may be sustainable forever. Like you look at like a Tesla. Like if you have a problem with your Tesla, they can literally like go into the computer and they can check the problem you're having and fix it remotely without even touching your vehicle, unless it's like a mechanical component. But like, I mean, eventually that's going to end, or it's going to slow down. So that means like mechanics are going to struggle, right? And it's going to be harder to produce this kind of stuff. So this is like the one job that like even a Tesla will always need to be protected, cleaned, and taken care of forever. So until they make like robots that can like physically see, touch, and smell what we do,
Good luck.
like, it'll take years and years. Like this hopefully could be sustainable for like a long time to come. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So did you ever doubt this would be a sustainable business?
Kind of, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because, like, honestly, it is a hard fucking job. It's very, like, mentally exhausting, physically exhausting. Like, you think that, like, cleaning cars, per se, would be, like, so easy. But, like, from start to finish, like, it's a long, hard job.
Yeah, it is.
And, like, not just anybody can do it. Like,
I remember when I was doing, like, polishing and stuff like that, like in driveways and stuff. People are like, "Oh, would you do my wife's van?" And I'm like, "It's not really my thing." And you're like, "I'll do it." I'm like, "Okay, you can come help." And we started doing it, and then after a little while, we got talking, and you're like, at the time you weren't at Soul, you were kind of like working for hourly wage, I believe, and you're like, I could almost like do hair part time and then like do this full time with you and whatever. But then obviously, like as things started adding up, you were like, no, I don't want to do this for
I don't want to work
really
with this dick.
Yeah, I don't want to work with this dickhead. And then you were lucky enough that you found another job where it was like kind of an introduction into like being your own boss, and then you found Soul, which is like your own boss, it's your own schedule, it's your own that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
I mean that was probably pretty helpful.
Yeah, totally.
So what's one piece of advice you would give to somebody who has a partner starting a business?
Drink. No, I'm just kidding. Just be patient. Be supportive. It's not always going to be easy, but
it's almost never going to be easy until it gets easy, right?
Yeah, if you ride it out, it's definitely beneficial, and
yeah, it all takes time.
Yeah,
for sure. Awesome. That's all I have for you. I appreciate you coming in.
Absolutely.
Having coffee. And I'll see you when I get home.
Love you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode, our final episode of Coffee Time of the Resurrection. Next Thursday, we will have a special guest, and it'll move to Darvel's domain. So we're super pumped about that. So we can answer questions that often people with startups or currently running a business might have, or people that are kind of interfering business with family and that kind of stuff. Not that I'm the perfect person to explain that, but I do know a lot of people that are really good with that kind of stuff. So hopefully you guys tune into that, and we'll see you next week.